So this weekend I went to see Richard Ashcroft in Wigan. Now Richard Ashcroft, do you know which?
I don't know who he is.
There was a very famous band in the 80s and 90s called the Verve.
Oh, the Verve,
Yeah, so you've heard of the Verve.
That's what the videos where they're walking down the street and he's
correct.
bumping into everybody.
Yeah, that's Bittersweet Symphony.
Yeah.
I think that's Bittersweet. Or that might be The Drugs Don't Work. That's one of their very famous songs. Anyway, Richard Ashcroft is the lead singer and also the writer of the songs, basically. But he's from Wigan originally, and this was called his homecoming tour. So one of the kids said, "Oh, Dad, Richard," because the kids loved him when they were young. So they said, "Oh, Richard Ashcroft." So I said, "All right, well, I'll go." But it was one of those where you have to stand up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I said, "Oh," and I was trying to get out of it, but anyway, so we all went on famille basically, and Anna's from Wigan as well, so there's a Wigan connection. So I thought, here we're going to go. There's going to be Palestinian flags, blue hair, all this usual crap. Because I went to a concert in London to see Joji. Have you heard of Joji? No. Yeah, so I think listeners, just for this here, this isn't me quoting bands that nobody. It's just Nick doesn't know any musical bands. We're clearly getting.
I've never been that interested in music.
Anyway, so as soon as we arrived there, something was different. There weren't, the people coming to the concert were slightly older, not middle-aged arses, but older people, predominantly white. So I was one of the few brown faces there. No purple hair, no pink hair, no Palestinian flags, no nothing. It was just people going to a concert. A lot of them were drunk, and I thought, hang on a minute, this takes me back to the 1980s. This is like what concerts were in the 1980s. And we went in and it started chucking it down. It was raining really heavy. And then the rain stopped and Richard Ashcroft, they always have the bands at the beginning.
Yeah.
So a couple of bands came at the beginning and we were standing in the rain and I thought, oh, this is awful.
It was like a rugby stadium.
Yeah, it was called the Robin Park, it's called, Robin Park in Wigan. And then Richard Ashcroft came on and he was absolutely fantastic. Right. All he did was sing songs, short break between each song where he said nothing, and then he'd sing his next song, and he went through all these hits. The Drugs Don't Work, the ones you've never heard of, but our listeners, please support me here and say you've heard it. All his songs, finished with Bittersweet Symphony, which is an anthem of his, basically, phenomenal record. And I would say it's the best concert I've ever been to in my life. It was just absolutely fantastic. No messages, no nothing. It was just absolutely brilliant. And you and I have talked about this before, about artists and they're telling us how to. So afterwards, and I knew a bit about Richard Ashcroft, but I looked him up basically, and then I saw an interview he came, and I'd like to, if you would permit me to read what he said in this. So he said, so many fucking artists, man. If they can't write a song, or they can't sing, or they can't play, they end up being like semi-political leaders, or believe they have to have a million causes to hide the fact they can't do the very thing that we want them to do. Ultimately, if somebody's paying hard-earned money, which was me, to see me play live, they don't want a rant about what's happening on the other side of the world. They don't want to know which way they should vote. We don't give a crap. The paradigm's been broken, smashed by music and an artist. That's where music is power. Go back to what you were supposed to do. Go back and entertain the world. And I thought, fantastic, at last, basically. Somebody who's saying, an artist who's saying what he should be saying, he's there to entertain and nothing else.
He's got a very good point, and he mentions it, and that's the point. Artists should entertain. And the reason why some artists don't and talk about politics is because they know they're substandard. They've got to add something else to make them interesting, which is politics.
Yeah.
Same with sports stars.
Yeah.
Does Messi or Ronaldo or any top flight footballers, do they get involved in any political stuff? No. It's always the B players who then want rainbow laces or they're doing something for Free Palestine or whatever. They've got to add something else to them to make them interesting.
Yeah. Rashford.
Yeah.
I mean, as Rashford's quality declined, that's when he got more involved in that, food things or food for kids or whatever. I can't remember what it was.
And even at the time when he did that, I thought that was very silly of him, because there'll be a time where it's uncovered that he's not paying his fair share of taxes, and the press will go after him harder than anybody else.
Yeah.
Because your taxes would have paid for food for kids and you don't even pay your fair. I'm not saying he doesn't pay his fair share tax, but if he ever doesn't, they'll come after him even harder. I thought it was a very silly thing for a 20-year-old to do.
Yeah. I think the Richard Ashcroft thing, who you never heard of.
I've heard of the Verve.
You've heard of the Verve. Yeah. What we saw there, and I said to the kids afterwards, we actually just saw a proper rock star. He was a proper rock star. He was really good on stage, phenomenal on stage. Great, he's a great musician, phenomenal music. You need to maybe listen to some of his music. And all he's about is his music. He's not about anything else. He doesn't want to be about anything else. And he'd come back to Wigan, and he said he had me. I don't know why he said he hadn't been able to play in Wigan for 26 years. He'd come back to Wigan after 25 years to play to his people. You know, the people where he came from, basically. And I just thought it was beautiful. It was really emotional, fantastic. You know, fantastic evening. And I said to the kids afterwards, and Anna, I said, you know, that's the best concert I've ever been to, because that's all it was. It was just a concert. It was music with a rock star playing before a big crowd, and they were just there for the music. The fans were there for it. They weren't there. They didn't have any rainbow flags or any messages there at all. It was just they were there for the music as well. I thought it was a really powerful evening.
It sounds like he's got nothing else to prove.
Yeah, no, I don't think he has. I mean, he is phenomenally successful, and you know, Oasis. They were big fans of his before they started, and Coldplay. Chris Martin is a big fan of his as well. They've.
So other people have heard of him.
Yeah,
not
yeah.
you.
That's it. Yeah,
right.
He's actually quite famous. So that has got nothing to do with all the news we've been looking at. But I just thought, after we've been talking about people like George Clooney and
celebs,
all these celebrities pushing all this crap, I just thought that was, you know, that just kind of really, it restored my faith in humanity briefly for a moment there on Saturday. I thought I'd just tell you about that.
Thank you. Did you enjoy that video? I think you did. Come on now, hit that bell, subscribe, comment. Let's build this channel. I need more followers. I need more subscribers. Be part of the journey. See you soon.